On January 23rd, Dries Van Noten previewed their 2026 fall menswear runway during Paris Fashion Week, and it was phenomenal. I had rewatched it 4 times when I found it. Also, Perfect Plug has been on a hot streak as of late with their uploads, and it made me think about how important these underground promotional pages are. I wanted to create some discourse around all this, show you guys the people's thoughts, my thoughts on the Dries show, alongside the inherent punk feeling of underground rap pages and my positive interaction with them. The Dries show was received very well online. A lot of positive tweets that I'm seeing. Only one critique I was able to find, which was missing the old Dries sophistication. What do you guys think about this one? I'll add, I feel it's properly accounting for the current space in fashion. Women's Wear Daily had also held an interview with Julian on the collection alongside their own thoughts. When reading it, it feels like an attempt to downplay the show a bit without being too abrasive, but I'll let you guys see first. Women's Wear Daily first noting the potential oversupply of print varieties, but then tying it back by giving them credit on how hard it is to chicly combine a lot of these different motifs and print patterns, but I quote them, mostly harmonious ensembles, which to me feels like, not too much play, you still got some work to do, you know, like a little diss. But then they focus on the narrative that Julian had provided, the fragile moment between being a teenager and becoming an adult, alongside this idea of a boy packing their bags and leaving home. Items like your grandfather's coat, your favorite blazer, and hand-me-downs. What do you guys think here? I personally really enjoy when designers take on this concept. We've seen great examples of it before, and I think it allows for room to push the boundaries for menswear, as the transition to adulthood in and of itself is a changing assortment of actions dependent on the times and the things that you're going to be taking with you. The way that these bags are even going to be packed changes as the decades move onwards. So this is one of those narratives that I feel like you could always pick up, and it could allow for quite good experimentation. Women's Wear Daily also spoke on the really fun accessories this season with the quote, his knack for clever accessories. Reddit thread also looking quite nice as well. Someone mentioned Coleman Domingo as public styling potential. I did some digging and found past pictures of him being styled in Dries before, so there could be a tail end here honestly. The YouTube comments were filled with love. I translated this Japanese comment and it has said what the background track for the runway was. This is an amazing put on. Her name is Maki Asakawa. Some quick digging and she's apparently named the Queen of Underground in regards to Japanese jazz and blues. Usually I mute the runway music and play my own, as often the choice for music is quite off for me, but the choice here falls perfectly in place. We do see jazz retain a space within youth subcultures over time, and it was well received on my end. Definitely gonna do some more digging. So overall good online. If you guys have anything to add, let me know in the comments, any critiques I missed. But now I'm going to give a quick historical rundown on Dries Van Noten, the brand. And I know I've been saying the name Julian, which refers to Julian Klausner, the current creative director of Dries, but this will all get explained in the next section. So when doing more research on the brand, I came to quickly realize my slime Dries has been putting that shit on and supplying that shit to the public since before I was even a thought in my parents' mind. Though I'll add, I don't know if it was during a conception either. We're not going to go too overly for the history on Dries, but I do want to highlight the beginnings, who he is, and when Julian Klausner came into play for the brand, so we can all be caught up enough to judge fairly. Now, his first menswear collection previewed in 1986, nearly 40 years ago, and it was a hit. Being immediately stocked in Barney's New York, and Whistle's London, the designer started off strong for himself. Also being known as one of the Antwerp Six, which if you don't know was a collection of Belgian fine arts students that all premiered and moved to London at the same time. And we're giving the name the Antwerp Six because trying to pronounce all 6 of their names in a row will sound like you're trying to summon some mythical creature. Now all 6 of them being very notable people who have contributed massively to the current and future zeitgeist of fashion, which we can't get all into this video, but if you guys would like a longer styled research doc on the Antwerp Six, I'd love to provide it. They're honestly a big source of inspiration for me. Now, 3 years later, Dries opened up his first boutique, and I don't think I'm pronouncing this right, but Et Moda Le Play, and had a strong career in fashion both creatively and financially, never going bankrupt or needing to sell a majority stake to save the company's ass, which most designers end up having to do before reaching their heights. Now, the brand is known for beautiful print play, which I heard was inspired by Dries learning about Indian fashion from a friend introducing him to it. He ended up making a lot of connections with Indian manufacturers for prints and sequins, tailoring and pushing this formal menswear forward in a tastefully playful way as well. The story of Julian Klausner's cooperation with Dries starts in 2018 in women's wear, I believe, with him now being the creative director since December 2024. And I'll add that this has been one of the good creative director announcements as of late. I'm glad to see that it was an internally promoted position and not this hot potato swap that we see. Now, as I stated before, Dries has been in the clothing game for double my lifetime, so I couldn't go over everything for this video's sake, but I wanted to just give that slight introduction before reviewing the collection together. I also wanted to add, he had this 500 person dinner in the year 2004 for his 50th collection. I don't know, for all my 2004 slimes out there, we're like low-key spiritually aligned with this. No, I'm just joking. But, oh, what the fuck? Where's my notes on Julian Klausner? I must also add that Julian Klausner is a seasoned veteran designer, I'm not gonna lie. He has internshiped at Thom Browne, Kenzo, and he worked for Maison Margiela under John Galliano before he joined for Dries Van Noten in 2018. So this wasn't like some designer that just got picked up off the streets or some. It's not like we're working with someone random. Julian Klausner is seasoned. He's been in the game for a while. I had to do some research on him, I'm not gonna lie, put some respect on his name. To start off the review, I wanted to note his choice of narrative being the transition from teenager to man, in his exact words though. In this second men's collection, I wanted to explore the idea of coming of age, not in a dramatic or romantic way, but praising the joy of new beginnings, the unfolding of possibilities, the naivety and the honesty of the first experiments with self out of the comfort zone. 6 months after my June presentation, where graduates were celebrating on the beach at dawn, they are leaving home, university, new adventures, off to explore and learn. Packing one's bags, catching the train for the big city. Yoga Aketara, when dawn breaks. I don't know if that's Japanese or not, honestly. I don't know where that last part of the quote came from, but yeah. I feel like this is an amazing choice of storyline for the brand in terms of how the clothing relates to it. For house names, there are storylines that innately complement what the brand stands for, and this is an example of one of those. As we know, Dries mixes colors and prints with tailoring a formal menswear as his canvas, so choosing an actively experimental time in a man's life was just smart on the team's end, and I believe they pulled this off quite well, especially in the beginning of the collection. I'll start with look 5 and 10, kind of giving me this feeling of honest experimentation and naivety with the dress. When the shorts and the hat are combined with the serious long coat that has this middle connection, the coat kind of feels like a juxtaposition to the other knitted materials going on. Then the long shoes with the shorts as well, just giving a bit of a goofy look. Some of these looks do kind of give this ugly chic look with the way the colors and patterns are combined, while others give a lot more of a calm or just a masterclass on color theory. I feel like look 18, 20, and 23 play into this teen to man thing a lot as well. With the way some of these vests are styled on the models, to me it almost looks like they were going for this I'm barely outgrowing the vest look, and I kind of like it, especially with how front and center the vests come with the nearby lengthiness of the other pieces. Now, I don't want to move too far from the first section of looks yet. There's still some sauce to cover, like we see the military styling of these button-ups and jackets from look 8, 11, and 14, and I'm here for it. I've been cooking up this military chic collection for about a month now myself, and anything military chic just feels timely right now with all the chaos and hectic shit that's going on. Also, the bag work is going stupid right now. This bag on look 3 with the brown leather, then the seemingly yellow and black leather snake strap is heat. With this bohemian bag on look 7 and 8, I'm gonna say it here, this collection reminded me of why I liked Alessandro Michele's Gucci tenures so much. I felt like such an eye-opener with how colored prints and patterns can come together in an outfit, and made me realize I gotta sharpen up with my color theory. I remember the Fashion Roadman was talking about having friends that would watch for Alessandro Michele's looks and then style themselves based on the looks using thrift clothes, and I feel like you can do the same with a lot of these Dries looks. Not only that, but the more and more I get older, I continue growing a disliking for a closet that's too tame in colors. Now I can see the crazy shoes here in the first section of looks, and they're undoubtedly fire, but there's a point in the collection where the shoes really popped out to me, and I wanted to save the excitement for then, as in this first section the shoes kind of feel like just a little side dish and not the whole mac and yams, I'm not gonna lie. These shorter button pieces are okay. I personally like when pieces that use the shoulder to neck button-up motif are in like thicker fabrics and bigger buttons, as when it's too thin it doesn't click for me, but I think it may just be the styling. Now on look 13, there's a switch in the prints on the button up beneath, and I want to know what's fully going on here because I'm enjoying the little trick that is playing on my eyes. It almost feels like, I think Trompe l'oeil is the right name for this, when the clothing looks like it's doing something that it's not because of its use of textures and colors. Like Raf Simons is really good at this. He's kind of made shirts seem like there was 2 or 3 colors going on when it was all just prints. Like that's pretty cool. He did that at Prada recently. But moving forward, we see this double like interchangeable sweater. I like the side zip motif, and this is just speaking to me. I want to say something on the kilts / leg covers though, because I spoke about this in my last video about Rick Owens and his leg covers, and how fashion is doing a good job of breaking that wall for menswear and better shape creation on the bottom half of the men's body. The different lengths per leg is sending me right now. I had spoken about this as well. I hope this gets picked up more as we're seeing how it could work. These silk button-ups on looks 22 and 27 with these cinched waist belts are cool. I feel the waist belts were done to show the experimentation and naivety, but I personally don't care for them as much. What have you guys been thinking about all these looks so far before I move forward? But to continue, looks 21, 24, and 26 on the other hand is a whole different story. I wish I could choose my favorite from one of the three, but I don't think I could. 21 seems the most usable, and 26 is handling the color variations better than 24, I'd say. I think it's good to add here that my big critique for the show, which was I can kind of understand where women's wear daily is coming from with the point of these things being potentially too much. I mean, looks 5 and 10 are just colorway differences, and so are 24 and 26. I'm personally not a big fan of this, as wherever these supplemental colorways would be sold are going to get their own stylings on the website or even on the mannequins, so I just enjoy if it was only sending one of each look down the runway for the most part. Not in the idea that I'm against the amount of different prints and looks that's going on, just more of a 60 look collection is a bit too much, I'm not gonna lie. And you could tell in a 60 look collection that they're just repeating a lot of things. They're giving you like it feels catalog-y, and they're just trying to show you all the, oh, here's this outfit but in 3 different colors. It's like, no, just send the one outfit down, and then all those other colorways are going to get styled on like Mr. Porter or wherever this clothes gets listed. It feels like a few wasted looks that could have been removed and let the oomph of the colors and the show's vibrance stay a more short and sweet thing. The show could have went from 60 to 30 or 40 looks while keeping the entirety of its integrity if he just removed a lot of the double colorways we see here. Now we're getting into my favorite part of the show, looks 28 through 40. Look 28 specifically blew me away when I was first watching the runway video. This black leather jacket, I don't think it's patent leather because of the texture, but it looks so shiny, and I don't think it was just the lighting either. It perfectly complemented the white and blue floral pattern that lines the jacket, to then have this zipped knitted turtleneck underneath just busting with color. The denims to the snakeskins, it just feels like properly accounting for everything a young man wants in a fit. The formal lapels get downplayed by the floral prints and the denims, but tied it back together with the shoes. It's just good. It's just really good. We see a couple more jackets with this lining motif, and they all take the cake for me. We're also seeing a lot of these double colorway looks come back as well. LMAO. Look 36, I wanted to highlight this tassel scarf he has on the model. The texturing that this scarf can add to any outfit is just superb. What I'm enjoying a lot is that I don't doubt the capabilities of these jackets and all these pieces standing on their own without the nurtured styling. Like, I want to take any of these pieces, whether it be the shoes, one of the bags, leather jackets, silk pants, or the scarf, and then just pair it with a regular outfit and let that be the daily. On look 40, we're getting the same color scheme as 28, but in a different light, so I can't call it a double necessarily. It also just really calls to me, especially these floral print pants. Now, with this last section, I feel I'll add the collection didn't get a good wrap up. Introducing this orange look with the neck epaulette threw me off, or it feels like it could have been in the beginning with the rest of the military stuff, or it should just not be here at all. These multi-pattern neck scarves are heat, but it was really around these looks that I had gotten tired. So to wrap this all up, I enjoyed the collection. I feel like it was doing a great job of keeping the storyline intact in the beginning of experimentation and naivety. Designers as of recent have been doing this flood work with the catwalks, and it doesn't hit if the catwalk isn't on some Karl Lagerfeld shit, I'm not gonna lie. But as for the clothing, it did honestly spark a revelation in me to study more color theory and color code. It was a masterclass in that aspect. Also, being able to push men's silhouette creation further without it feeling like it needs to be a question is beautiful. Sometimes you'll get a designer who tries to push the boundaries with this forward but creates too much of a spectacle around the boundary itself, which causes an issue. Here and with the rickshaw, the use of kilts and leg covers doesn't feel like a question, it feels natural. The bags and shoes were beautiful, but one last thing that I'll add is the emptiness or lack of something accentuates whatever is there just that much more when done correctly. And at times, I actually wished he muted some parts of the fit to let other parts shine through more. The shoes could have done so much more if they weren't drowned by the combination of other items in the looks. But that's all for Julian Klausner and the DRIES collection. What did you guys think of the collection? Any thoughts or comments? Let me know in the comments below. And let's get into my little rave about underground rap promotion channels and why I love them so much. Underground promotional channels play a pivotal role in the underground for a rapper who's trying to come up. We've seen so many people come up off these pages, and it's actually so fast seeing someone get consistently uploaded to these pages to then blow up from one of their vids from there. Now, my first interaction with music, like really ever, was through a channel similar to this. It was called Double XL, but they had an underground rap in a serious chokehold when I was younger. For a moment there, everything I was doing was being backtracked by the cypher. Essentially, if you don't know what I'm talking about or need a refresher, people, or usually groups of people, will start re-uploading underground songs to help them catch traction and grow a following for themselves, to then end up being a promotional page where if you're fire, you can pay to start getting your music consistently posted on these YouTube and SoundCloud pages for a fee. We saw Yeet blew up on Mosh Pit. Isaiah TG and Perfect Plug have a relationship that has kept me alive for a while, I'm not gonna lie. Class after class, we usually see a wave of underground promotional channels that come and go with the class of the underground, they're mostly associated with some of them lasting multiple generations. Currently, we have Perfect Plug, Burning Roach, Xavier Anthony, Wave Plug, Trap Daily, River 13, Underground Sound, and Mont Reality TV doing a really good job of pushing the scene forward, and I think you should go check out all of them if you want to get better at staying in the loop. But all of this really started with the MTV music channels on the TV we used to keep on as kids when no one was home and just run laps around the crib to. But to get back to it, the channels like World Star Hip Hop and Elevator held the 2016 class up for a while, that then kind of got lost in translation a bit until the current wave of channels started brewing up chokeholds around 2018, piggybacking off the Slay World wave, if I'm not entirely mistaken. If someone has like a better underground timeline, go ahead and comment that below. The reason I wanted to bring them up today though is because recently I've noticed the OA camp just dominating the Perfect Plug YouTube channel, and I've been saving so many of the songs to my playlist, especially every Peasy song that gets posted. And I've been so touched by underground rap channels that when I was first starting my brand, I made this I Love Trap Daily graphic t-shirt and posted up in it, and actually ended up getting a response for them, which in my mind felt like a formal invite to the underground, hilariously. It was them replying that kind of made me realize no artist in the underground is too much bigger than the other. I mean, Trap Daily noticing my clothes when I was posting from my bedroom just using vinyls and heat transfers, it really gave me the confidence to say fuck it and text all my favorite underground rappers when the time was right and I wanted to send pieces out to them, which I actually ended up getting to at least talk to most of them and sending out my pieces to a couple of them. A couple of them are still waiting on a package that are like doing really big things right now. That's my fault. I've been trying to like structure all this a lot better. But it was this first positive interaction I had with Trap Daily that really shifted my mind on how you can participate in the underground, even as a solo act if you want to. These channels have a seasonal nature to them, and in that sense, once the underground class that really starts popping moves on to only self-hosting their videos, if the channels didn't take the right steps to prepare, they'll kind of get forgotten in the mix, which adds this layer of depth to the underground culture that I don't hear many people talk about. This idea of all of this just being a means of communication from person to person. In this book I was reading called Not Another Punk Book by Isabel Anscombe, I think that's the way you pronounce her last name, there was 2 pages that pushed this idea and stuck out to me in relation to this, or specifically in relation to this. I'll first quote page 9 saying, "Punk is kids knowing what is happening and where," and then page 55 stating, "The kids want to create their own culture and forms of communication, rejecting the star images, packaged, processed, and expensive entertainment, and mass hysteria as a criterion of success," which I feel perfectly sums up how classes of underground rap move alongside the promotional channels. They almost feel like community boards or internet meeting spaces for specific art styles. There's something so cool about creating your own means of communication with those who share the same interests as you. In my eyes, it mixes with the underground news channels alongside the one-off vlog channels in the underground, or that are usually just trying to make something cool because they're so inspired by being in the space, which ends up creating this extremely niche, and although I can't say super connected, I'll say very warm corner on the internet for those who are into shit like this. It's definitely part of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel. But anyways, that was all for the vid today. If you made it this far, thank you for real. I'm gonna be taking this YouTube shit seriously. I'm on that Mr. Beast 100 videos, 100 upgrades grind for real. The end state of all this is a consistent community hub for high fashion and underground rap, alongside me being able to show my collections when they're ready. Then the Insta for the brand will just be like lookbooks and all these like music video type reels that I'm gonna end up making. Cause I also realized that posting clothes every day kind of fucks with like the people's head. Like, damn Nick, I get it, you want me to buy the hoodie. Like I'd rather post discourse. I'd rather post like something that's community building and then just post the art for the clothing when it's ready. I'm not gonna lie. But thank you for stopping by. New videos like every day / every other day. I have to like find what I want to talk about, and then I write the script, and then I record myself talking, edit it, and post it. So it's like this one closed loop process. I can usually get it done in a day if I like wake up and like from like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. If I like write, record, edit, and then post, I could like end up posting like hella late at night. But I kind of wrote the schedule right now. I'm recording the voice part at 12 p.m. right now, and I wrote the script last night because I think if I edit it throughout the day, I could get like an earlier posting. But all right, yeah, now I'm rambling. All right, peace out.